Hi Gomej, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Thank you very much for the question with regards to your condenser tumble dryer. You're telling me that you've got a C10LF-80 and you're suspecting that the tumble dryer capacitor has gone faulty and you've diagnosed it, but you're wanting to know how to access the machine to be able to replace the capacitor. Firstly, for other people watching, I just want to explain the fault. If you are hearing a humming noise when you turn the machine on, but the drum is not turning, this is a good sign that the run motor capacitor has failed and needs replacing. Now, my problem being is I can't tell you the exact size of the capacitor because the manufacturer only sells the capacitor with the motor. But don't worry about that because you can get alternative capacitors. To actually gain access to the machine, you have to take the front panel off. And what I've done for you in the description on this video, I have added a couple of extra videos and a web page with exploded diagrams of your machine, a couple of articles from the workshop manual which are on the actual system, and the wiring diagram as well. The procedure for changing the capacitor is the lid has to come off, the facial panel has to come off, and the whole front panel has to come off. There's no other way to access it on these machines, as it is a sealed cabinet on the side and back. Once you've got all that off, you're then going to have to remove the ducting unit at the front to actually take the drum out of the machine. Some people, including myself, are able to change the capacitor without taking the drum out. But let me explain why I don't recommend that. Firstly, you're working in a very confined space and you're not going to be able to short out the old capacitor. So if you do put your fingers on the wrong things, you will get an electric shock because a capacitor is like a battery. It can hold a charge. So I don't recommend doing that. I would remove the whole drum, and the reason I say this is because at least you're going to get the opportunity with a vacuum cleaner of hoovering up all the dust in the machine. It is really important with all tumble dryers, whether vented, heat pump or condenser, that they are maintained on a regular basis. Dust is the biggest problem with all tumble dryers, and dust can build up in things like the motor and cause it to overheat. So by taking the drum out and clearing all the ducting units through the machine is going to not only last longer, it is going to be more efficient and therefore use less electricity. Once you've actually got the motor area exposed, if you look on the side of the capacitor, and if I grab one from up here, bear with me 1 second. On the side of the capacitor, you have a number, and this one, for example, is 8UF. That stands for microfarad. Now, looking at some articles on your dryer, I believe you will either have a 7 or a 9UF capacitor, but I cannot tell you until you've actually gained access to the capacitor. There are some capacitors on the website that we sell, and I would recommend, if you do have a steel casing version, which is normally made by Ducati, I would get one of those capacitors because they are in an area where the steel ones are better than the plastic ones. There are some Chinese versions about, but I would always replace it with a good quality capacitor. Then once you've got that, you'll be able to order a capacitor up, should get it next day postage, and then you'll be able to reassemble the machine. I hope all this information helps. Remember, I've put a link in the description for you. If you need any further help, feel free to contact us and use the contact us page on the website, and I'll be happy to help you. Good luck with your repair.